In the quiet town of Willowbrook lived a woman named Evelyn Parker, now entering her late 60s. She was once a school teacher, beloved by generations of students. She had always enjoyed reading, music, walking in woods, and chatting with people from all walks of life. Over the years, though, life had tugged at her. Friends moved, some passed away, her daily routine narrowed, and most days felt slower than the one before. One morning, Evelyn woke to discover she'd forgotten the name of a neighbor she'd known for years. That small slip, just a name, stung more than she expected. She wondered, is this old age setting in? She had always valued her sharp memory, her lively mind. She resolved that moment. She'd do whatever it took to keep her brain young, to stay curious, engaged, alive. Evelyn started by opening her old journals. She read her college dreams, traveling, learning languages, teaching overseas. She'd put those aside long ago. The discovery of those pages reawakened a curiosity she had tucked away. She borrowed books on neuroscience, read stories of people who'd learned new skills late in life, and she realized something. The brain is like a muscle. It thrives when challenged, when stretched, when given variety. So she enrolled in a Spanish class at the community center. She bought an inexpensive ukulele and signed up for beginner lessons online. She resumed daily puzzles, crosswords, Sudoku, and later, chess against a new opponent. Each small challenge felt like waking a part of her mind she thought might be dimming. Evelyn knew that brain health wasn't just mental. It came from caring for her body, too. She began morning walks through Willowbrook's forest trail. She breathed air so crisp in the morning that every breath felt like an elixir. On her walks, she'd listen to podcasts about philosophy, nature, and history. Sometimes she'd memorize a poem, recite it under her breath, and watch the leaves tremble in response. She improved her diet too. Foods rich in omega-3s, salmon, walnuts became regulars. Colorful fruits and vegetables, dark chocolate in small amounts, green tea, legumes, and whole grains found their way into her table. She reduced sugar, cut back on empty carbs. She slept later than before, giving herself at least 7 solid hours, and if thoughts kept her awake, she wrote them in a journal rather than tossing and turning in worry. Humans are social creatures. Evelyn remembered how much joy she felt teaching children, so she began volunteering at the local library, leading a weekly reading group. She mentored a young student interested in writing. Relationships, she found, were powerful medicine. Laughter in the reading group, stories shared over tea, smiles, hugs, debates, and shared silences. Evelyn also reconnected with old friends. She called a college roommate whom she hadn't spoken to in 20 years. She mailed letters, real paper and ink, to cousins in faraway cities. She made it a habit to meet a neighbor for coffee once a week. These moments, trivial to some, lit up her days. Her brain, she felt alive, weaving stories, recalling memories, creating new ones. One challenge stood out: fear. The fear that one day her mind might fail, or that late life meant fading away. But Evelyn refused to let fear dictate her story. She adopted a mindset of growth. When she made mistakes in Spanish, when her fingers fumbled ukulele chords, when puzzles frustrated her, she saw them not as proof of decline, but as evidence she was stretching, trying, still growing. She practiced mindfulness. During walks, she noticed each leaf, each bird call, each ripple on a pond. When she felt overwhelmed, she paused, took slow breaths, and reminded herself, I am learning. I am alive. My brain is still forming new pathways. Evelyn realized that to keep the brain young, she needed purpose. Not just filling time, but doing things that felt meaningful. So she started writing a memoir, a collection of lessons from her decades of teaching, living, losing, loving. She read it aloud to her reading circle, laughed and cried with them. She also planted a small garden, Flowers, herbs, vegetables. She tended it daily, watching seedlings come up, the soil turn, butterflies visit. It was a living meditation. She set goals: learn 10 new Spanish words per week, read 1 non-fiction book a month, perform her ukulele song at the local cafe by next summer. These goals were gentle, but intentional. They reminded her that life's horizon still stretched forward. Months passed. Evelyn observed changes. Her memory improved. She remembered that neighbor's name, people's birthdays, details from her classes. Her energy returned, not youthful, but vibrant. Her mood lifted. She smiled more, laughed more. Her sleeping improved. Her heart felt lighter, more connected. She lost count of how many people told her she seemed younger, not just in appearance, but in spirit. Her reading group grew. The young students she mentored looked at her as an example. Even after 60, it's possible to learn, to take risks, to grow. They saw her performing her ukulele song, slightly shaky at first, but full of life. They heard her speak Spanish with accent but confidence. They saw a life not diminishing with age, but glowing. One crisp autumn afternoon, Evelyn sat on a bench by the pond. Golden leaves fell. Ducks glided on still water. She closed her ukulele case, smiled, and whispered to herself, "My brain is alive. My heart still learns." She realized that youth isn't just measured in years. It's measured in curiosity, in daring to challenge, to connect, to open oneself to new things. It's in purpose, in love, in perseverance. And it's in laughter, in kindness, in refusing to settle. Evelyn's journey was not extraordinary in terms of fame or grand accomplishments, but in the small decisions she made each day. Picking up a new language, gardening, voluntary teaching, social walks, mindful breaths. She built a life where her mind remained fresh, agile, hopeful. Lessons from Evelyn's story: challenge your mind often. Learning something new, language, instrument, puzzle, creates new neural pathways. Take care of your body. Sleep, nutrition, physical movement all deeply affect brain health. Stay socially connected. Conversations, mentoring, relationships nourish the mind and soul. Adopt a growth mindset. Setbacks do not signal decline, they signal opportunity. Purpose and meaning matter. Goals, creative outlets, giving back. They sustain energy and mental clarity. Evelyn's story reminds us, keeping your brain young isn't about turning back time. It's about choosing to keep growing.